All right, everyone. So here we're going to be looking at the Seven Wonders Duel tutorial. So this tutorial exists thanks to Villager. So thank you, Villager, for giving us this tutorial. This tutorial is best experienced on a full screen desktop browser at 1080p. Welcome to the tutorial for Seven Wonders Duel. Prepare to be transported to the age where civilizations lived and died on the edge of swords, innovative science, and scarce resources. Okay, the thematic stuff in there. In Seven Wonders Duel, each player is leading a civilization and will construct buildings and wonders. All the buildings constructed by a player together with their wonders are called a city. This is your empty city at the bottom of the game screen. Okay, so you got your city here. I could use this for my own channel to teach people how to play Seven Wonders Duel and then go from there onto the expansions, which I like to play. Okay, so this is just the base game though. The first thing we need to do is draft 4 wonders into our city tableau. The game comes with 12 wonders. Drafting occurs over 2 rounds. We are currently in drafting round 1 of 2, okay, where BGA is offering 4 of the 12 wonders. Your opponent started first in this drafting round 1 and selected the wonder the Appian Way, which has been added to their city. A note, drafting a wonder doesn't construct it. Think of this phase as selecting 4 wonder blueprints that will eventually try building in your city. Yeah, I think that's good. Good explanation there. It's a blueprint. You must be wondering how to choose a wonder. Let's look at how to interpret the card. If you hover over a wonder, you will see the resource cost on the left and the effects when they construct on the right. And writing a tutorial is hard. Okay, so got that. The construction cost of a wonder is paid using resources. To generate the needed resources, you need to construct buildings in your city. The basic ones are brown and gray buildings. Right, you have the raw material, the brown cards, and the manufactured goods, the gray ones. Brown buildings produce the 3 raw material resources, clay, wood, and stone, and gray buildings produce the 2 manufactured resources, glass and papyrus. All right. And then the most common effect icons are military shields and victory points. This card grants the number of victory points presented, and then this card grants the number of shields indicated. Other effects can easily be understood by hovering over the wonder card. Oh yeah, see, hover it over, and boom. Okay, it's your turn to draft a wonder. Select the Great Library. If you hover over the wonder, you will see its cost and effects. So yeah, I would say it makes sense to select the Great Library in this part. Good call there. In drafting round 1, you get to choose 2 wonders consecutively. Let's select the Statue of Zeus. A little debatable. Some people may say the Colossus is better, but I would also agree with this tutorial. Statue of Zeus is better. Don't want to lose your ground resource there. So Statue of Zeus wins over in most people's minds and in this tutorial's mind. And we're not playing first player. The opponent is playing first player, and they picked the Appian Way to start out. All right, your opponent drafted the Colossus, whose effects are hopefully now easily understood visually. 3 victory points, 2 shields. Sure, that makes sense. All right, we are now in drafting round 2. You go first, then the opponent chooses twice, and finally, you take the last wonder. So these are the 2 best wonders in the base game, the Temple of Artemis and Piraeus. I know a lot of people really like the Hanging Gardens, but I think most would agree base game, Hanging Gardens is the 3rd best. Expansion's probably different because expansions value coins more. But Temple of Artemis, you can't argue with 12 coins. That's just so great. So most would pick Temple of Artemis first, Piraeus second, Mausoleum third, and Pyramids fourth in this setup of 4. Let's see how they do this in the tutorial. So take Appian Way, it's telling us to do. Interesting, they pick Mausoleum then Piraeus, but it really doesn't matter. Second and third are both going to go to the same player. And then it's saying all 8 wonders have now been drafted. Right. It's time for the duel to start. The game is played over 3 ages, starting with Age 1. BGA automatically deals out all the building cards from Age 1 deck in a special pyramid shape. All right. Moving on. In each age, each player has the chance to play approximately 10 cards per age. to earn coins, strengthen their armies, make scientific discoveries, develop their city. In Seven Wonders Duel, there are 3 ways to claim victory. Military supremacy. Interesting, they put that one first. Scientific supremacy, and then civilian victory. I would say I like that they definitively say that the first 2 are supremacies because that's like hey, what's the difference between a supremacy and a victory? And maybe we could describe that as winning the game earlier than it would normally have ended at the last card. So end the game early would be a supremacy. Okay, and then third would be the civilian victory. It's saying there now. Military and science victories can happen at any time and end the game immediately. I mean, yes, a science victory can happen in age 3, and the military victory can happen in age 2 or 3. I mean, actually, it could happen in age 1, but very rarely is that ever going to happen. Okay, so now, if by the end of the 3rd age no one has yet won the game, the player adds up their victory points, and the player with the highest score is declared the winner, called civilian victory. I will explain these victory conditions in more detail soon. Let's get our city started first. Okay. So, earlier we saw that building cards, brown and gray, generate resources. Here's a reference for the other kinds of building cards that you play during the 3 ages. So you have the civilian building cards, the science building cards, the commercial building cards, the military building cards, and then the guild, the purple building cards. The age 3 deck contains no raw materials, brown cards, or manufactured goods, gray cards, but it contains guild cards. So age 3 is kind of special. You want to remind everyone that, hey, you need to get your resources early because age 3 is going to have no resources. Take away the browns and grays, add in some purple cards. Okay. So, you may have noticed that not all building cards are immediately playable in Age 1. Some are face down and some are face up, but covered by other cards. Yep. On your turn, you must choose an accessible card in the card structure and play it. An accessible card is a card which isn't partially covered by other cards. That's a very good definition there. I really like that. This tutorial really helps people probably get into the game. And about time I covered it. So it's your opponent's turn, and they must choose to play one of the accessible cards highlighted. A card chosen can be played in one of 3 different ways. Construct the building, discard the card to obtain coins, construct a wonder. Some of the accessible cards need coins to purchase and play. Right, so there's 7 coins, got it. And then note that when the game is set up, both players start with 7 coins in their treasury, highlighted on the top right of each player's tableau. So, very first pick, gonna take stone. All right, so maybe the person who made this tutorial is really good at the game, and they're trying to show you that you want to take yellow cards first, probably. I think everyone would agree in age or in no expansions, age 1, yellow cards are probably the better choice to start out with in that first row. You want to pick all the yellows. Anyways, so all right, the tutorial guide says I should highlight the excellent game summary panel on the right side of the screen. You will find this in every game on BGA and is particularly helpful when learning new games so that you can see the descriptive actions. Yeah, I like that they say that. They point out that this right here, yeah, this tutorial thing is telling you that you need to look at the game log basically, and it will tell you things that you need to look at. And you'll find I actually use the game log a lot in my gameplay to check what was the most recent thing. I do a lot of turn-based games, so 1, game log is good for turn-based. 2 is good for creating, if you want to make a neural network and feed that the text from the game log and have the neural network predict who's going to win the game. That's also an option as well. So it's your turn. Select the highlighted card, Wood Reserve, to purchase and play for 3 coins. Remember, there are 3 ways to play any accessible card. Click the button Construct Building shown below the pyramid of cards. I like that my opponent left me the Wood Reserve. They're probably going to have you try to build the Great Library early game. I wonder if they're just going to try to end the game early with military. No, they're not going to do that. I wonder what what's going to pop out for the Great Library here. So I'm going to construct the building. Right, and then notice that any purchasing those, or by purchasing those two bottom row buildings, another card, Lumberyard, has become accessible. Okay. So, as it no longer fully but partially covered by the other cards, it's an automatically turned face up. Okay, and then the opponent picks the gray card. Your opponent built a gray card that generates papyrus for them at the cost of 1 coin. Notice BGA puts a green check mark below cards that are free to play because they either have no construction cost, you have the required resources in your developing city to help speed up your production. Okay, so speed up your decisions, always glance at these icons overlaid on the building cards. The top icon shows the cost for your opponent, the bottom icon shows your cost. So interesting, they say that check mark below cards that are free to play. Yes, I see check marks. And they either have no construction or you have the required resources. Good. All right, so let's build a free quarry card that will generate the raw material stone in our city. Remember to click the construct building and select the quarry card. So what if I click the discard for coins? Would that, the tutorial's not going to let me do that, I think. Yeah, you must play the move indicated in the tutorial. It's telling me. So, okay. Let's construct the building. All right. Hopefully you have a good idea of how to play accessible cards now. Let's allow the game to move forward a few turns for some more buildings to be constructed. All right, taking all the yellow cards from me. Well, then I'm eyeing the tavern. Okay, then it's just pushing through the turns. I didn't even get a choice there for that wood, but that's fine. It's your opponent's turn. They have 0 coins in their treasury. They are planning to discard one of the accessible cards and get coins from the bank. When discarding any building card, the bank will reward players 2 coins plus 1 coin for every yellow building card in their city. And when I explain that to players playing in real life, I kind of say, so as you get more yellow cards and you discard cards, or the coins that you get from discarding cards grows. Does that make you want to grab yellow cards earlier in the game or later in the game? They're like confused, so like, what? So if you grab all of your yellow cards early in the game, and then you're going to be discarding cards throughout the game, you're going to be getting a lot more coins rather than grabbing all of your yellow cards at the end of the game and discarding cards for only 2 coins. Would you rather 2 coins or 4 coins? Because this opponent right here is getting 4 coins. You're like, oh, okay, sounds good. But then as you play the game, you realize that you can be pretty strapped for money at any given time. So your opponent discarded the garrison card and was awarded 4 coins. It's your turn. Let's also discard the guard tower. What? We're not taking the science card? It makes sense we're not taking it. We don't want to reveal the tavern. Let's take the guard tower as we have only 1 yellow building in our city. We get 2 coins plus 1 coin equals 3 coins. Select the highlighted card and click the discard for 3 coins button. Okay, so I'm going to select it. Boom, and then discard. Yep, take the action to continue. I discarded it. Okay. So discarding for coins, a little slow there. Let's see the revealed cards from there. Going to let the game autoplay for a few more turns. Okay, so let's see the autoplay. That's how I would probably go. Take that one. And then it is still going, autoplaying. Okay, I take another stone. Your opponent has a choice of 2 accessible cards in the pyramid. One is a free blue free civilian building card called the Theater that awards 3 victory points. If you hover over it, you will notice that it is chaining effect, which reads you can build statue for free in Age 2. The other choice is a green scientific building card called the Pharmacist for the cost of 2 coins, which has the benefit of chaining the dispensary building for free in Age 2. I highly recommend scrolling down your game screen to see the overview of all the buildings in the game and their chaining links. Okay, so you can see all the chaining links right there. And for the experts, do note that 3 building cards from every age are removed randomly for the experts. Okay, randomly from setting up the game. Only 3 out of 7 guild cards are in play in Age 3. So there's a removal of cards uh, that is important for this game. You got 3 that are removed. If you're like, wait, where was that fourth science card? I don't see it. It's probably got removed. So guilds are essentially buildings with special end game scoring conditions. They will intuitively make sense after you complete this tutorial. Right. So your opponent decides to discard instead and get 4 coins. So we're ignoring science this game. And so we get a bunch of coins there. And they get a bunch of coins. We get play. And then our opponent does finally grab a science symbol. This turn, your opponent decides to construct the green scientific building called Workshop. If you hover over the card, you will see that it is not only awarded 1 victory point, but added 1 scientific symbol to your opponent's city. Notice the count that says 1 of 6 science symbols right above the scientific card played. If at any point in the game your opponent constructs 6 unique science buildings, each has their own symbol, they will instantly win the game via scientific supremacy. I think I would have changed the wording there, but that's okay. I would have just said when your opponent earns 6 unique science symbols, because they said above they've got 1 of 6 symbols, and then just state below it's not unique scientific buildings. Anyways, just a little bit of a word thing, but I think this tutorial was written 2 years ago. I don't think they're changing it. This is a good time to also learn about the benefits of gathering a pair of scientific symbols and choosing a progress token from the green bar highlighted here. There are 7 different scientific symbols in the game. And so when you get a pair of them, you can grab these progress tokens. They'll probably go over them later on, I'm imagining. But I guess we're not getting any scientific symbol in this playthrough, so that's going to be interesting. We're not going to be able to get any progress token. Well, I guess we will with the Great Library. So Age 2 just started. BGA deals out the Age 2 cards in another special reverse pyramid shape. Obviously, this changes the count and location of accessible cards. BGA is prompting you to choose who will go first in this second age. The player with the weakest military chooses which player begins the next age. A player has a weaker military if the conflict pawn is on the other side of the board. Which leads to us learning about another aspect in Seven Wonders Duel, the military conflict. See the highlighted red board? It is placed between the 2 players. Anytime a player gets military shields, either through red military buildings or from building wonders, the conflict token pawn is pushed to the other direction. Alright, so as the conflict pawn is currently in the center, the last active player, which is you, gets to choose the starting player. So let's see the game log. I discarded Palisade Building for 4 coins, and then I get to choose who goes first. All right, let's also learn about the instant win condition military supremacy. It's quite simple. Push the conflict token all the way to the other side, instantly win the game. Along the way, you also force the opponent to lose 2 coins and 5 coins highlighted. So that is a possible thing. So maybe we're going to go a military strategy and win the game early. You choose yourself to start this age. Let's build the highlighted card Caravanserai. Notice that the printed construction cost on this yellow commercial building is 2 coins plus glass plus papyrus. Our city is not producing glass or papyrus. We will have to buy these from the bank. In this game, buying missing resources has a simple formula. Let's see how simple it is. Player pays 2 coins and plus the number of symbols of the same resource produced by the brown and gray cards of the opposing city. That's a easy algorithm there. Clarification: note that the purchasing cost is calculated according to the resources spent in your opponent's city, but the purchases are paid to the bank. There is no limit to the number of resources you may purchase on your turn. The resources produced by yellow cards and by wonders are not factored into trading costs. Some commercial buildings, yellow cards, change the trading rules and set the cost of some resources to 1 coin. See highlighted buildings for examples. When you hover over the highlighted Caravanserai card, let's do that. BGA shows a tooltip with all the resources trading math done for you and summarizes these costs on the card too. Current construction costs for opponent, they have to pay 2. And then, yeah, so total 2. They produce the building with Glassworks and they produce that building with the press. Let's verify that. Yep, they've got the press, they've got the Glassworks. For myself, it's going to cost 8. How unfortunate. So I have to pay 2, plus I have to pay 3 because the opponent can produce 1 glass, so 2 plus 1. And then the opponent can produce 1 papyrus, so another 2 plus 1. All right, for a total of 3 plus 3 plus 2 is 8. That's very expensive, but still grab it. It's a great card. All right. Just kidding. Probably don't want to grab it. We have plenty of coins in our treasury, currently 17. Also, you have too many brown resources, so why are we even grabbing this? All right, we have plenty of coins in our treasury, currently 17. We can easily afford 8 for each useful yellow building, which has the effect of producing 1 unit of any raw material, wood, clay, stone. Proceed to build the caravanserai. So, okay, what do we need the caravanserai for? Let's see. We've got 2 wood. Maybe we need a 3rd wood for this great library to be free and our wood reserve to be redundant. Okay, no. Maybe Statue of Zeus we need it for? Um, yeah, I guess the only thing we're paying for in the Statue of Zeus is the press, that 2 plus 1 right there, the papyrus. And looks like the Temple of Artemis. Looks like, yep, again, just gray resources we're really needing. We need some way to get gray resources. So, okay, there is a trade cost of 2 coins for a brown resource with the pyramids. So ultimately, we are going to spend 8 coins here so that we don't have to pay 2 coins later. Okay, and 1 coin with the Great Library for a total of 3 coins. So spend 8 coins so that you don't have to pay 3 coins. Okay. I would have discarded that for sure. Take the action to proceed. Okay, I thought the action was you can easily afford 8 coins for this yellow building, which has the effect of producing 1 unit of. Okay, so are we building it? Oh my goodness, what are we doing? Our opponent doesn't even have Statue of Zeus to burn a brown card, so okay, we got plenty of resources now. Okay. And then our opponent is pushing in military and science. Looks like we're just going to win in points. Your opponent constructed the red military building, walls, which has 2 military shields as its effect. This moved the conflict pawn 2 spaces towards our capital. Let's do the same and build the parade ground red building. Its benefit is 2 military pushes. Okay, yeah, let's build it. That's what I did. Right? Yep. Clicked on it, built it. Bam, pushing you back. All right, and then the opponents using their only extra turn so that they can push us in military, maybe, or no, they're going to grab a. All right, they're going to grab a double science symbol, and they promptly used it to build another scientific building. They promptly did it. Note that your opponent now has a pair of matching science symbols. Lets them choose one of the 5 available progress tokens. Saw that coming a mile away. Strategy, and they're going to try to push in military with the remaining military cards out there. So there may be a 2 military left, and we see the 2-1 militaries. All right, we're going to ignore the military part of it and finally take a way to get gray resources with this forum. And then we're going to really have way too many things with brown cards. You know, I wonder if we're just trying to starve them of resources and make it impossible for them to build Piraeus. I don't know. If we had that 8 coin costing Caravanserai, if we had discarded it, then the opponent could have used Mausoleum to grab it. They might have done that, but I feel like Mausoleum is better used for a science or military push. All right, so select the highlighted card, Rostrum, which will be used face down. Click the button below. It's labeled Construct a Wonder. Select the Great Library from your tableau of 4 wonders. All right, we're going to build our first wonder as our opponent's already built a wonder. So we're going to construct a wonder with a blue card. So we're at 0 coins. And which wonder are we doing? Does it say which one we're supposed to do? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. It's saying build a great library, and it had a hand with a 3 on it. The benefit of constructing the Great Library has been triggered. You can choose one of 3 unused progress tokens that were not selected. The game comes with 10 progress tokens out of the 5 which are randomly selected and placed on the board. I wonder which one we end up getting. Okay, so we get Theology randomly. As both players are now starting to build their wonders, it's very important to note that the game literally allows only 7 wonders to be built. As soon as either player constructs the game's 7th wonder, the last wonder, which has not yet been built, is immediately returned to the box. And with this last rule, you know all the core rules of enjoying a wonderful game of 7 Wonders Duel. I will leave you with a reminder of the victory conditions again, especially how endgame scoring is done to determine a civilian victory. Are they going to let us fly? If you made it so far, I totally understand that there seems to be so many rules, but hopefully, I like the smiley face there, hopefully this tutorial has given you a sense of how the game flows. I recommend playing through the tutorial a couple more times to get a feel for all the turn options. Alright, but to boil down to a summary, here's what you learned. Instantly win 7 Wonders Duel by building up your army, playing lots of red cards, and pushing the conflict token to the top. Or instantly win by building 6 unique science buildings, green cards, or amass a lot of victory points to score a civilian victory. Alright, interesting. On your turn, so choose an accessible card, construct a building by paying its resources, discard 2 coins plus 1 for every yellow card, construct a wonder by paying its resource costs. So you have those 3 choices. If you need to buy missing resources, you can get them from the bank. Sometimes your card selection may make some good cards accessible to your opponent. It's one of the hard and fun decisions of the game. Congrats on completing this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. See you at the next open table of 7 Wonders Duel. P.S. You will get to rate this tutorial in the next pop-up. If you feel it can make it be made better, can you please share the feedback with Villager? Feel free to directly message me with your comments. Alright, now get ready for your first game. Perfect tutorial. Alright, so oh shoot, so that's just it. It just ends right there when they give you the progress token from the Great Library. I wonder if we played the tutorial multiple times, if it would have made it if it would have given you a different progress token for the Great Library. That time it gave you theology, but I wonder if you do it again, if it gives you a whole different progress token. So yeah, nobody won that one, but the opponent was poised to really push in military, but they had used their last extra turn, so they weren't going to get very far with that, and we would have likely won. It just might have come down to a really close points game, I'm imagining. But hey, so there was the tutorial that we were looking at right there. Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed that tutorial. That was my first time running through the tutorial for myself. I already played it in real life, so didn't need it on Board Game Arena. But yeah, I think that was a good implementation of the tutorial. I gave it 5 stars right there. Yeah, my only issue would be like grammatical errors. That was it. And yeah, I think that's a good way to teach people how to play. You saw pushes in military. I think a good tutorial for 7 Wonders Duel would need pushes in military, pushes in science to explain both of those. And if you're not going to end the game fully, kind of build some of the more complicated wonders. Maybe they should have built the Statue of Zeus to destroy a brown card of the opponent, just to show that that's an option to destroy a card. And then maybe you could have done an extra turn to get something that you may need. I think that would have been a good thing. Yeah, I think the 8 coins for the caravan stream maybe could have had some work there. Like that's really expensive for that. But anyways, we're going on 30 minutes here. Don't want to keep you guys any longer. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and keep playing Seven Wonders Duel.